this, like in April, like the number of, like people sick and etc. The hospitals are right now are already kind of like starting to get overwhelmed with everything that's going on. So imagine when we reach a peak, and imagine if a lot of people get sick, and that's going to be terrible. A rough timeline of when things are going to start like calming down a little bit, in order just for us to kind of like be aware, or when not exactly, because again we don't know, but roughly when is it going to reach its peak, at least in April, so we can start like going and buying whatever we need to buy, not go out during those days.
Sure, absolutely. So the projections are difficult to interpret, largely because it's based on us, and it's based on how well we do our social distancing. Like when we were talking about flattening the curve. If we continue at the rate we're going, which in California and Los Angeles is pretty good with our social distancing, we could do better, but it's pretty good so far. We're expected to peak within the next few weeks. So the month of April is going to be pretty bad. There are projections. I've heard anything from Los Angeles is going to turn into the next New York. As you guys know, New York is getting crushed right now. It may not be as bad here in Los Angeles because we started our social distancing early. So we started our social distancing 2 weeks before New York did. We were really aggressive about it, both regionally here in Los Angeles and in the state of California. And as you guys can see right now, we're still okay. We're managing this. But even with everything we're doing, it can still really spike within the next 2 to 4 weeks. So what I would tell everyone is the month of April is going to be really tough. And we all got to hang in there. I think realistically, in terms of things kind of resembling normal life, us maybe being able to really leave our homes with regularity, I think probably not till the end of May, at least, maybe even later. What I know from firsthand accounts is Northern California and certain regions, they're having a tough time already. So like the San Jose region in particular, I've heard is having a very difficult time, where many people are being tested, and there are many positives up there. Almost every other person is turning out positive up there. We're not at that level yet, thankfully. But this could happen literally in the month of April down here in Los Angeles. I'm optimistic, though, because if you think of the early social distancing we did, which is great, but not only that, you also have to think about the structure of the society around you, right? New York is, the perfect storm, really, because there's so many people in such a small space in New York, especially Manhattan. Those of you who have been, to New York City, and especially Manhattan, like people are like sardines packed in on one on top of the other in terms of their apartments there. The streets are always usually crowded there. So it's the perfect setting for something to spread really quickly. And both of my parents are from New York. New York's my home away from home, and I still have family there. So, reach out to them because it's hitting them right now really, really badly, guys. But LA, we're still okay right now, but it's starting. We're seeing it in the hospital. This week is starting to pick up, and so I'm projecting April is going to be our peak month, and then hopefully, if we do our best and some of these treatments start working in May, we can start seeing a good turnaround.
Awesome. So I think this will be like the last questions.
Sure.
And this one is from Little Old Me. Can pneumonia be prevented if you're infected with coronavirus?
So yeah, that kind of gets into the bigger things of like, how can we keep ourselves healthy, right? If we start to get those symptoms, with viruses, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. And I hate to say that, but trying to optimize your health by getting a good amount of rest. I'd recommend trying to get at least 8 hours of sleep a night. If you're feeling down or tired, if you need to nap during the day, absolutely do that too. Listen to your body. If your body's telling you to, get some sleep, then get some sleep as much as you need to. Vitamins aren't really, some people swear by vitamins. You have those different packets out there like Emergency and Airborne and Power Packs. Those are different vitamin supplements that you can do. They haven't really been studied all that well. I know I get good energy from them, and I feel better when I take them. So I leave it up to you guys if you want to do stuff like that. I don't think it would hurt. So vitamins would be nice. But the main thing is rest. Try to eat healthy, everything you can to just try to keep your immune system well. But in terms of like at-home remedies, there aren't a lot of agreed upon things as of this moment. But rest and you all.
Yeah, and this question is from Miss Jimenita. Anything we shouldn't buy? Like, I know we shouldn't buy N95s, but like, should we refrain from buying like Clorox wipes and maybe hand sanitizer because there's such shortage, and those are for like the healthcare workers?
Thank you, and that's a very service-minded question, and we appreciate that in the healthcare community that you guys are thinking about us, and we're thinking about you guys. I don't know the answer to that question because it's that balance of you guys being safe and having enough supplies for the healthcare workers, just as you mentioned. The N95s and the face shields, as I mentioned, in the surgical masks, any of your standard issue. I'm not associated with any company. I have no stock in any company, but like 3M is one of the big suppliers of medical supplies. I would really ask that if you guys, as I mentioned with the opening, donate those to your nearest hospital if you can. But in terms of buying them, if you're seeing on Amazon or any outlet that they're out of stock for certain things or near being out of stock for any standard surgical masks, then I would really try to refrain from buying those right now because that means they're in scarce supply and we could really use them in the hospital. That being said, this is the week where I'm seeing, in the last few weeks actually, a lot of people step up and create at-home products. I have a personal friend who's a builder and an architect, and he's been making face masks and face shields for us frontline workers, and he's made over 1,000 and shipped them out to different hospitals around the United States. So it's this real community manpower that's going to get us through this. And I think for people in the community, these options are great options. They're not any less protective. A lot of them are equally as protective to what we're wearing in the hospital, but those are options for you guys, absolutely. Your basic yellow surgical masks, from what I've heard, those are still available for the most part for both you guys and us in the hospital. So those I think are okay to probably purchase right now. But definitely the N95s and goggles and face shields, if you could please try to reserve those for us on the front lines, that we would most appreciate it. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just going to give a big thank you to everyone. I'm getting a ton of love and support from you guys, and I know a lot of our medical colleagues are hearing you. We're seeing the love on social media, and we feel it. We're right there with you guys. I'm pretty much just at the hospital and home. Those are the only two places I'm at right now. So I'm right there with you with the fear about this, the social frustrations, not being able to see friends and family and loved ones. Video chats help, but they don't beat the real thing of actually seeing the loved ones. So I get that people are scared and suffering. This will get better. It will get better. We're going to make it through this. We're going to be okay. And I have tons of love for you guys. And thank you again for reaching out with all of us and having me today.